The heart and soul of American drag racing, the National Hot Rod Association, NHRA, may be facing one of its toughest challenges yet. Once the symbol of raw horsepower, roaring engines, and packed grandstands, the sport is now struggling to fill seats and capture the next generation's attention. From Pomona to Gainesville, the sound of thunderous top-fuel engines once pulled massive crowds. But recent scenes from the 2025 NHRA U.S. Nationals, often called the Super Bowl of drag racing, tell a different story, a story of shrinking audiences, fading traditions, and uncertain future. The vanishing next generation. One of the NHRA's biggest problems is that young people aren't showing up anymore. In the past, drag racing was a family affair. Fathers brought their sons to the track, families camped out for the weekend, and kids grew up dreaming of driving top fuel cars. The smell of burning rubber and the rumble of engines created unforgettable memories. But that culture is fading. Today's youth are more focused on screens than engines. The car culture that once inspired millions, building hot rods, reading magazines, and idolizing racers, has been replaced by social media and video games. The result? The stands are filled with older fans, and few young faces are there to replace them. Without the next generation, the future of drag racing looks dim. The absence of star power. Drag racing has always been about personalities as much as performance. And no one personified the NHRA better than John Force. For decades, Force was larger than life, a champion, a showman, and the ultimate ambassador of the sport. But after his devastating crash in Virginia in 2024, Force has been absent from competition. His retirement leaves a massive void. Like Michael Jordan in basketball or Dale Earnhardt in NASCAR, John Force was drag racing's heartbeat. Without him, the sport lost more than a driver. It lost its face. Even with stars like Tony Stewart entering the NHRA scene, no one has been able to replicate Force's impact. Stewart brings credibility and crossover fans from NASCAR, but his limited involvement can't carry the entire sport. The NHRA's challenge now is to build new heroes, racers with charisma, storylines, and passion that connect with fans. Without new icons, drag racing risks fading into obscurity, a sport that changed its DNA. Many longtime fans say the NHRA changed forever in 2008 when it shortened races from the traditional quarter mile, 1,320 feet, to 1,000 feet following the tragic death of Scott Kalitta. While the decision made sense for safety reasons, it fundamentally altered the identity of the sport. The quarter mile wasn't just a measurement, it was drag racing's soul. It represented history, records, and the challenge of pushing machines to their absolute limits. When the NHRA cut the distance, it also cut part of its magic. Fans say races now feel too short, too quick, and less thrilling. As Legend Don Garlits once said, the races are over before they even start. Safety should always come first, but the NHRA's shortened format made the sport feel smaller, less powerful, and less legendary. The marketing and media problem. In the digital age, every major sport depends on strong online presence. But here, the NHRA is falling behind badly. The official NHRA YouTube channel has around 264,000 subscribers, far fewer than smaller independent motorsports creators. For a sport with a global legacy, that's alarmingly low. Television coverage isn't helping either. NHRA broadcasts on Fox Sports 1 are mostly paid programming, meaning the NHRA buys airtime instead of networks paying for rights. This is the opposite of what happens in major sports like the NFL or NASCAR, where broadcasters fight for exclusive deals. Without strong storytelling and consistent marketing, it's hard to attract new fans. Other organizations, like the UFC under Dana White, succeeded by turning fighters into global stars and every event into a story. The NHRA has great races, but it doesn't have the showmanship or narrative that modern audiences crave. Rising costs and fading accessibility. Another major factor behind the NHRA's decline is the cost of attendance. What used to be a fun, affordable family weekend has become a costly outing. Between tickets, food, and travel, families can easily spend hundreds of dollars just to attend one event. To make matters worse, some events are now closing off entire sections of grandstands to make them appear full on TV, a tactic often used to hide low turnout. But fans notice. When the U.S. Nationals, the biggest event of the year, struggles to fill seats, it's no longer just perception. It's a crisis. Corporate cracks and sponsorship problems. The NHRA once had powerhouse sponsors like Winston, Budweiser, and Coca-Cola. But those golden days are gone. When Coca-Cola ended its sponsorship during the pandemic, it sent a loud warning. The return on investment wasn't worth it. Today, Mission Foods serves as the title sponsor, providing stability, but for how long? Without strong TV ratings, attendance, and mainstream buzz, corporate faith in the NHRA will remain fragile. Many top teams are now self-funded, with drivers like Steve Torrance, Mike Salinas, and Tony Stewart spending their own money to compete. While that independence gives them control, it also weakens the NHRA's leverage and long-term financial sustainability. Can the IHRA capitalize on NHRA's struggles? Adding to the NHRA's worries is the quiet comeback of its old rival, the International Hot Rod Association, IHRA. Under new leadership, the IHRA is focusing on grassroots values, cheaper tickets, community involvement, and a more personal experience for fans and racers. Some racers even praise the IHRA's hands-on approach, where officials interact directly with teams and fans. If the NHRA continues to drift away from its roots, the IHRA might reclaim the community spirit that made drag racing great in the first place. The road ahead. Can NHRA be saved? Despite all the problems, the NHRA isn't doomed, but must evolve. To survive, the organization must reconnect with young fans through digital storytelling, TikTok, YouTube, and interactive online content. Develop new stars who can carry the torch and excite both old and new audiences. Make races more accessible and fan-friendly with affordable pricing and stronger event experiences. Treat events like entertainment, not just competitions, blending fireworks, concerts, and spectacle to bring back excitement. Promoters like Bill Bader have already shown what's possible. His Night of Fire event at Summit Motorsports Park isn't just a race, it's an experience. And that's exactly what drag racing needs now more than ever. Final thoughts. Drag racing will always have its loyal followers. People who live for the roar of nitro engines and the smell of burnt rubber. But passion alone can't fill empty stands. The NHRA must change how it tells its story, markets its stars, and connects with fans. Otherwise, the sport that once defined American speed may quietly fade away, not with a bang, but with an empty echo down 1,000 feet of track.